Thank you everyone for joining us today. We have a special guest for a Q&A session, the creative pioneer Björn Myreze. So I'm going to ask him a couple of questions about Myreze, their projects, the relationship with zero density. But first, let's watch a showreel of their company and some of the projects.
A good story immerses the audience into a new world, leaving impacts and emotions. Myreze merges creative thinking and new technologies to communicate innovation, forming new expressions. We inspire the audience. We are the future of storytelling.
So, can you tell us about the story behind Myreze?
Of course, but first of all, I need to congratulate you guys on winning the best product of the year here at NIB. Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thank you, Trexis, and thank you, the team. Thank you. Bravo.
So now I'm going to start talking a bit about myself before I talk about the company, so you can kind of put me somewhere. I started out as a geek. When I was really, really young, my dad gave me computer parts instead of Lego. So already by age 12, I created my first TV channel, which is quite strange to do in that age, but at the same time, I was a geek. I needed to find a way to impress the girls. And
Naturally.
you can really impress a girl by having a TV channel when you're 12. At that time, we were actually using Atari for the graphics and stuff. And little did I know that long into the future, I was actually going to meet the guy who founded Atari, Nolan
Wow.
Bushnell.
Wow.
Which is just a kind of funny thing, because he inspired me to do the first graphics on my own TV channel. And then many years later, I met him, and he was inspired by what we, together with the Future Group, managed to achieve with Lost in Time.
That's great.
But
Well,
I can segue that, because I mean, after being geeky and jumping into this virtual world in a really young age, I started to work with TV2 Norway, which at that time must have been the most cutting-edge TV channel on the planet, doing real-time graphics and pushing boundaries in every single way that you could at that time. This is many, many years ago. So at that time, I realized that I want to do broadcast graphics, I want to do real-time graphics, and I was dreaming about these virtual worlds that we are standing in right now,
Yeah.
which for me at that time was just like a dream, but the dream actually became reality with Zero Density's Reality Hub.
Well, thank you so much. So you started broadcast graphics way young, and when did Myreze come into the picture as a full-blown company?
No, we actually started in about 2014, and at that time we were more like a branding agency doing opening titles, on a graphics, idents for all kind of cool companies around the world. But at that time we also stumbled into this project called Lost in Time, where we were among the first one to connect Unreal Engine with this broadcast industry. And then I realized that what if we as designers and with branding experience can take this into this virtual world? And I think that there's a big difference between companies that just do cool graphics than people that have the branding experience and have the broadcast experience. So we want to put all our talents into this virtual world.
Amazing. So when did you cross paths with Zero Density, and what were your first impressions and when you made the decision to go, let's partner with these guys?
I remember it as clear as it was yesterday. I think that was at IBC 2000 and I don't know, 15 or something. And I was just walking around there and I saw a lot of boring stuff. And then I suddenly saw this booth with some amazing companies were holding a bottle in a virtual environment. And I was like, how? Well, that was the first time I've ever had seen a green screen that were merged into this virtual world so seamlessly, with the fact that you can have hair, you could have glass, you could have the most amazing shadows and everything. And I was like, I need to get to know these guys. And I got to know Ulash. And since then, I've been chatting with him almost every day because we want to push boundaries together.
Yeah, that's great. So let's talk about the set that we are standing in right now.
Yeah.
Well, the Weather Channel became one of the most iconic and revolutionary virtual studios out there. So tell us about the projects. How was the design process? And in the meantime, can you take us through the set, Michael? Thank you.
No, the interesting thing here is like when I started conversations with you guys, we discussed that we wanted to do something iconic together. We wanted to push the boundaries and show the world that you can actually, I mean, at the time when we were doing this, there were not a lot of virtual studios on the planet. And a lot of companies were a bit like, should we go virtual, should we not? So we wanted to do, together with you guys, something that leaped everything into the future. And as soon as we started a dialogue with the Weather Channel that already had done the most amazing things with explainers and that kind of stuff, the Weather Channel have always been really cutting edge. At the same time, I just need to rewind, because back in the days when I was working for TV2 Norway, we were doing the weathers in the traditional way. We just had a green screen, and then we had a flat graphics in the background. And if you go further back in Norway, we had actually a physical weather desk and a wall where they had magnets and that kind of stuff. So the first time I met the Weather Channel, I was like, oh, this is cool, because I've been a part of the Norwegian revolution within graphics, but now we can actually take this into a new dimension and tell stories in totally different ways. And the funny thing, I think I said the irony of working with you guys is that normally it's sports and news and that kind of stuff that have been pushing boundaries with graphics, but now suddenly there was a weather channel, which used to be the most boring thing to look at. But now, as we see, like the way we can tell stories within the studio, where we can have graphics popping up here and there, everything is tailor-made to create new stories, and also make sure that every single time you see it, there is a different environment, there is snow, there is different landscapes.
A different city. Totally, yeah,
and also the fact that there is some secrets in this project and in this studio that is not rolled out yet. Because we made this studio as a future-proof thing that can go on and on and on. And as we go, we can develop it further, add new elements, but everyone that watches the Weather Channel, they will see that then in the next few months, there will be new things and new things and new things. So there is something about extending your traditional broadcast into a virtual world where you can do so much more. And you can tell stories and not at least show information and infographics in new ways, which is truly remarkable.
Definitely. So circling back to our partnership, what were your main challenges before Zero Density products, and how did they help you solve them?
That's an easy answer, because I mean, I have always been a crazy guy with a lot of crazy ideas. Yeah. So before I met you guys, it was so hard to achieve my ideas. So after I met you, it became the opposite. Now it's almost like my imagination is my only limitation. Before that, it was technology. So it is definitely also a big challenge for us talking to clients, because they say, we want a virtual set. And I say, yeah, but I mean, there is so much more into it. and they will ask us questions like how much time do we or what kind of budget do we need to go for, and there is endless of possibilities within this world. So I would say like after I met you guys, everything just exploded.
Well, that's amazing to hear. So you guys have spent the last couple of years pushing boundaries within esports as well. So can you tell us a couple of the projects that memorable?
Yeah, we have done a lot of different broadcast projects for so many years now. But esports is a field that we just actually recently discovered. So about 1 year ago, we had this company contacted us called Valve, and they wanted us to see how we can push their broadcast into the future. They asked us to do this concept you see behind us here, which is Dota 2. It's among the biggest esports events in the world. And this happened during COVID as well. So we had a lot of challenging finding like where should this event be. And then we ended up doing more and more virtual. So most of the broadcasts actually happen in a virtual world where we had the integration of all the game characters. We had so much fun on the set. They were playing around with the characters. They were walking around with the characters.
That's cool.
Esports is a cool thing to see that. I mean, traditional broadcasts have not yet taken advantage of what you can do with real-time graphics. But within the esports world, they actually push us to do crazy stuff. And this project here, I mean, you can check the entire story about this on YouTube, but Dota 2 became quite a remarkable journey for us.
Awesome. So Una World, they combine a couple of virtual unique studios. So can you tell us about the thought process of the concept?
The video you just saw now is showing the project we did for what I would say a new way of thinking, a new way of creating a news channel. We got contacted from a company that wanted to unite 3 countries. So it became like an iconic political thing as well that have had, I mean, this is countries that have had their issues together and blah, 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 but now they wanted to unite them in a really nice way. So we create the brand where we have this this impossible triangle shape, which is the logo, but also we extracted that to be the entire universe of that broadcast. And the reason it's triangle is because we are having 3 different countries uniting. So that means in the center stage here, you will able to have 3 different hosts around in the different cities, not being in the same location. Standing like me and you, integrated into the same environment, being able to tell stories in new ways. And then that means they can interview someone from the other country and kind of mix this in a really, really amazing way. Within this world, as you saw, there is just so many different studios. So they can travel from one studio to another. They can actually go through commercial breaks through this as well. So on the way, they can actually move the camera and they can pass a Tesla or a Starbucks or that kind of stuff. So we are trying to find projects where we can make the broadcast more efficient, more engaging, and connect new technology together. And working with you guys on this project was amazing.
Thank you. Well, we are looking forward to that project as well. So, and we have heard that you moved to a really far up north of Norway in a small island. So, what's up with that?
Yeah, that's crazy. Especially that we are now traveling the world, doing the most crazy virtual productions, and I live in this remote place. We're going to show a video of this just right now, and as you see in this video, we decided to actually take my house and make a digital twin out of it.
Awesome.
which is kind of strange to do, but it just shows the potential of Unreal 5 now, where realism is taking everything to the next step. So together with Zero Density and our company, we aim to do more and more realism. And in this case, I hope that next time I travel somewhere in the world and have a presentation together with you, we can stand in my own house, so I don't need to feel homesick or anything like that. But as you see in this video, Unreal 5, this is just a quick demo we made, but Unreal 5 is pushing boundaries when it comes to realism, glass, reflections, and that kind of stuff, and the potential of usage. So suddenly we can use Unreal and Zero Density to do a real-time commercial, or we can use it to present a new house that is in the making, or I can create this as a digital twin, so I'm traveling around, I can actually brag about my house like today.
That's true. Well, you call yourself virtual engineers, so let's elaborate on it. What does it actually mean?
No, I mean, the main challenge whenever I'm meeting people and do travels and whatever, I tend to like mess up telling the story about who we are and what we do. Because back in the days, it used to be like, I could say I'm a designer.
Yeah.
And then I could say I was a 3D artist or director or so on, or doing branding. But now we do all of this, but in a virtual world. So we're kind of like, what are we? And we decided that, I mean, virtual engineers is kind of what we do, because we do put creativity and technology together, and we find new solutions and tell new stories.
Well, personally, I think virtual engineers is a great way to put it forward. It definitely encompasses all that you do. So Myreze has been involved with several groundbreaking projects, pushing boundaries and always using new tech and combining new technology. So what are the most memorable projects so far that we've done?
Oh, there is a lot of them.
I know.
Okay, I'm going to tell a story about a project we got from this amazing channel in the Middle East, Al Arabiya.
Nice.
They called me and said, like, we want you to do all our items. And I was like, yay, that's so cool. And then 3 days after, there was a drone going into Saudi with a bomb.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, wow, our task is actually to travel in the Middle East with a drone. So then I had to go back to them and, no, I'm not going to tell that story, because we are talking about real-time graphics now. That was just traditional broadcast. So I would say the most groundbreaking projects we have been involved with real-time technology is definitely, of course, first of all, when we segued into Lost in Time together with the Future Group. And then when we met you guys and we started to do the Weather Channel, where I realized that I met a bunch of people that had the same goals, to really find new ways and new solutions. So together as well, during our production of this studio, we managed to find new ways to show information and that kind of stuff. So I think that the most groundbreaking projects we have ever done together is happening in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
And I just have to say that, I mean, to be able to push boundaries, we need to have great relationships. And me and my partner in Myreze, Jürgen Steinheim, we've always talked about the fact that we want to work with people with passion that treats us nice and really see us as who we are. And I would say that that is the reason we do amazing stuff together. Because we are, even though we are two different companies and we could yell at each other or whatever, we just love each other, and that makes us able to dare to do something crazy sometimes, and suddenly a new product comes out of it, or a new iconic project comes out of it. So I think we're going to do a lot of iconic projects together in the future.
We love working with you guys, and we can't wait to see what's out there. So on that note, what's the Where's the broadcast graphics going in the future? And what do you have in store thinking about Myreze?
The funny thing is that I felt that I've been in doing real-time graphics for so many years, and I talked to Unreal Epic Games the other day, and they had done some research on the entire broadcast industry, and they said that only 1% of the entire broadcast industry is using cutting-edge virtual technology, and then I was like, wow! So the entire future of this industry is starting right now, because we have a huge market where we can go in and do more efficient productions with more innovating solutions, integrating more technology, having virtual and physical combined with the use of
Hybrid,
chroma key or LEDs or XR stages and so on. So I would say, first of all, the future is for any broadcaster to start using it. They need to see that Unreal, zero density, that's going to be the main thing that drives this industry. Because you also know that the meta universe is coming. And we need to have something that is ready for outputs in all kind of directions. So I think that just for a traditional broadcaster going into a virtual studio, if they do their opening titles with the use of Unreal Engine and zero density, if they use their idents, and they can do all their graphics within one solution.
True.
And that's going to be a totally game changer. So you don't need to sit there and render for days and days and days and days like I used to do before. Now you can actually create the most amazing opening title as well, where you have real-time data coming in, controlled by zero density, so you can actually, every time you see that opening title for the news or whatever, it's changed. They have some new colors or some cool data and so on. So more interactive in every single way, and who knows? I think that also esports is going to drive this industry. I mean, I'm not going to be saying anything negative about my own industry, broadcast, but I think there will be other industries influencing the traditional broadcast. So the future of TV and broadcast is definitely taking a step into this virtual world first, and then you can see where you want to go from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I have my all of the questions asked. If there are any other coming from our audience, we'll take that later on. Thank you so much.